What's going on, everybody? This is your host, Rob. I got Alex with me today. Welcome to another episode of From My Experience. Alex, what's really good?
Not a damn thing. I'm just playing. What's up, peoples? You know,
Really?
I'm a freaking Grinch, but I'll be all right. Love y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Continue.
Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. I got grumpy Alex with me today. Didn't realize it.
I'm just playing. I'll get out of my funk.
Yeah. Well, we about to talk some shiznit, so it'll be fun. One of the topics we're gonna talk about just a bunch of random stuff today. But one of the things I want to touch on, which seems to be a hot topic as of lately, or as of late rather, is dating outside your race. Would you, could you, and have you ever done it before? I'll go first. My very first girlfriend was actually white. I was in kindergarten.
That doesn't count.
Why does everybody say that? She counts.
Because then that means that the little girlfriend or little thing I had in kindergarten counted. She was actually my first kiss.
Okay, it counts. My first kiss was behind, Lord forgive me, was behind my church. With
you know what?
I ain't gonna say nothing.
I can hear the thunder.
Nah, dude, I was like 8. I was mad young. Nah, I was probably older than 8.
Bro, that's puppy love, man.
I was mad young when I kissed that girl behind the church. Oh.
And wasn't it exciting times, bro? It's like, man, like what I would give to get that feeling again for, like, you know, the first time and just being like, oh man, you know, is she gonna kiss me back or something? It's just that excitement, that thrill. As we get older, that dwindles away.
As we get older, we just hope the person you with ain't crazy.
But oh yeah, well.
But that that was my first girlfriend. She counts. I don't care what anybody says. Other than that, my girlfriend after that was actually Haitian, so I think
what?
Yeah.
Sac passé.
What?
Because I'm Haitian, so I had to give her a big shout out.
Okay. Are you done?
Go ahead.
So yeah, there was that. After that, my next girlfriend was black. I don't have a problem with dating outside of the race. I don't think there's a problem with it. I don't think that people should have an issue with it. I really don't get why, because dating in general is personal. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some white people and black people and the people of all races. Some people feel like you shouldn't date outside your race. My question is this: if I shouldn't date outside of my race, then what part do you play in my happiness for you to say that? You know what I'm saying? I want to date whoever loves me for me and is going to make me happy and is going to be a good mother to my kids and is going to be supportive. I don't give a damn if she's orange, yellow, pink, or blue. If she meets the qualifications, then I'm putting her in that position, you know, regardless of race. And then when I was younger, I would say about 5 or 6 years ago, I asked my grandma, because my grandma, I'll hold her opinion in very high regard. My grandma's like 95. Mm-hmm. And I said, Grandma, if I date outside my race, like a white woman or Asian woman, how would you feel about that? And she looked at me and she said, long as she love you the way I love you, I ain't care. Just make sure she take care of you and treat you right. Bam.
She sounds like one of my relatives, man. Dang. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I was gonna jump in on. There are some family members, and you know, this is just from experience. Someone I used to date was told that if she had told her mother that, oh, I want to date a white boy, and I don't say it in a derogatory way, but she said it was somebody of, you know, white pigment, that she would get her behind whooped or whatnot. And the thing is, my 2 exes ago's mother went through a lot in the South. Okay. Mm-hmm. Her grandmother was like wow, like as old as my grandfather, who was in his 90s. they were like in those times where oppression, a lot of things were happening. So yeah, the older folks are gonna have that thing where no, that you stay with your own, you know.
I think
But
yeah.
yeah, you got a lot of them, especially kind of. I'm pretty sure you have a demographic down there, Rob, that in your neck of the woods that do have that mindset, you know. However, I wanted to make a correction. You're not dating a race when you're going outside, you know. We are one race. We are the human race.
Ew!
You look at it from cultures. You're
Right.
dating outside of your culture.
Right.
You know, like my now ex-fiance, she was of a different culture. You know, but there's a lot that's in common, being that she was from the Caribbean island, her being Puerto Rican, me being Haitian. There's a lot of similarities, but vast differences. And you know, in her mind, she's just like, she identified with being like black or so. Me, you know, somebody, I shit you not when I say this. I told somebody in college that, oh, I'm from Haiti. I'm Haitian. Oh, so you're not regular black? What do you mean? I am black because I have French Creole upbringing and culture. Like, I am black. You know, even with my last name and my heritage, you know, coming from Cuban roots, I am a black Haitian man. And, you know, if I go, and I've been dating outside of my culture or out of my race, if some folks don't grasp that.
Yeah.
I've dated outside, like I dated a Peruvian girl. I dated a girl from England. Well, she was actually from Wales.
Oh.
I had a Cuban girl. I dated a half Jamaican, half Filipino. And, oh man, she was hot. She looked like Lucy Liu, actually.
Oh,
like, that's the one I regret. And you know, more recently, my Puerto Rican ex-fiance, I had a black woman before. That was my longest relationship of 15 years. You know, and I will say this. This is just a piece of advice. Don't hold up or don't hold judgment against a group of people because of an experience with one individual that happens to be associated with a group. What I mean by this, and I had to correct myself. What my ex of 15 years, she made me for a period of time stay away from black women.
What?
You know, so a lot of difficulties that I went through with that. I had swore off of them for a while, but
wow,
I had to say to myself, there's nothing like the love of a black woman who's holding you down, that got your back, and will go through the thick and the suck of life with you. You know, so you get a lot of black women who be like, why you go outside of your race, if they know, like, and this is, you know, from black to black, saying how much a black woman would ride or die for you. You know, in my case, I had one that was ride or die, but very harsh, and it was like tough love, and there was just a lot of like down talking, and some people have their way of doing that. So I went outside of my culture or race, like I said, for those who don't grasp that. And I think that dating outside of your culture / race is like going to Carvel or Dairy Queen. There's so many different flavors out there, and you never know if you'll like something if you never had it. How would you know that you're missing out on something if you didn't embark on it?
that is true.
You know? So I'm all for dating outside of your race, because had it not been for people in my ancestry, you know, from the Cubans that my grandpa would tell me about, and the Polish that's even further in my genealogy, if they didn't mix, I wouldn't be.
Right.
So I'm all for it. I am here because folks went outside of their race, their culture. You know, I went on a rant, but I'm gonna let Robert take the wheel. But that's just my stand on it. I'm all for it. Go for it. You know, mixed babies, 2017 campaign.
Ah,
Go ahead.
his microwave going off. No, I mean I'm
Hello?
with and he's on the phone.
Hello.
Hello? Can you not hear me?
Robert.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Hello.
Oh my God, is Skype messing up?
What the heck?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello.
And Skype dropped the call. Okay. I'm not even gonna edit it. Hello?
What happened?
Welcome to Skype. Anyway, I agree with you.
Did you guys hear me though? Because
yeah, I could hear you.
Oh, okay.
It ended. Back. Did you hit end or did it end on its own?
No, I ended it and then I came right back in to resync it.
Son of a Mitch. But anyway, yeah, I agree with you, man. Because my thing is this: I love women of all races. I mean, women are just God's most wonderful creation. And
amen to that.
You know, from the chocolate ones to the light ones, it doesn't matter your pigment. I love it. I do get why some people say, oh, you should date within your race and procreate within your race and, you know, keep it going and blah, blah, blah. And I get that, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you can't tell someone who to fall in love with or who to be in love with. You know what I'm saying? We don't all grow up in the same area around the same people. You know, I mean, I don't know anybody who's going to turn their back on what they were raised upon and who they were raised around for the sake of other people to say, oh, I got a black wife, or oh, I have a white wife. Like my cousin, her husband's white, and he's like the coolest guy ever, man.
Yeah,
like,
it's the character that
exactly.
You accept, not what skin they're wrapped in, you know? Because at the end of the day, when you go down to science, we are all the same. We are all the same. We bleed red. Same organs, same setup. The only difference is where our ancestors lived, their bodies adapted to their region. If you're, you know, Europeans, they didn't have the sun that, you know, blazing down there in Africa. You know what I mean? So of course their melanin is not said.
But you know, and now
it's truth be told.
And here's the other thing I think is important. Here's what I think is important that people miss. Even when and if you date outside your culture, make sure your kids are educated about both of y'all cultures. You know what I'm saying? Make sure your children are educated. You know, that's the most important thing. I think that's the point that people miss, because people think, oh, just because I date a white woman or Asian woman or whatever, and I have children, my kids gonna have identity crisis, this, that, and the third. And it's like, nah, yo, you teach your kids about your family. They are. Yeah, you teach them who they are. You teach them about your family heritage. You raise them right, and you gotta trust them to make the right decisions.
And like, you know, had my engagement not fallen apart, the plan was to teach our children both languages, Spanish and Creole. And being that if you are able to speak Creole, it's easier to learn Spanish and vice versa, because the laws of the language are so similar. There'll be times that, you know, she would be like saying something, or I would listen to her family, I kind of can follow along. And even with my father speaking some Spanish, it was like, I get it, you know? So that's a wonderful thing. You know, that's, to me, you got some folks that want to keep their race pure and, oh, we're going to lose our race and lose our culture and our heritage. You cannot stop evolution.
You can't. And another
one day, everything is going to be like a big, like, what was that? At Wendy's, you got the chocolate, whatever, the frosty thing. It looks like a mix of chocolate and vanilla. We're all gonna look like that.
That's what I saw. Like somebody somebody posted that it was like in like the year 22 something, we're all gonna look like this. And it was like a girl who was like light skinned. She had like curly hair, blue eyes. Like she had the features of a lot of different cultures. And I think that's true, because I mean, if you look at it, you got a lot of people who are military. Travel is becoming more of a common thing, so people are being exposed to different things in different parts of the world, and you know, you find beauty in other places, you find love in other places. I mean, it's the natural order of things. And then here's the other thing: I've dated within my race for a majority of the time, and it's never worked out. I'm not gonna blame it on race, but that's just what it is.
Don't blame it on alcohol.
I'm getting off.
Alcohol.
That's just what it is. But I'm not gonna say, you know, if a beautiful Hispanic woman comes up to me, oh papi, I'm just playing. But if a beautiful,
I have a weakness for them.
Shut up. Yeah, they are gorgeous, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna dismiss you're not my race. So you're gonna mean to tell me you're gonna eliminate the chance for you to find love and you're happily ever after just because y'all come from a different background? Like, you can't help who and what you were born as. You can't help that, and it's not like you had a choice. But
yeah, I would just say you don't want to miss out. And I can, this is gonna make me talk about the other show where you got certain people buying one brand of consoles, PC, and gaming, and when you are just restricting yourself from, like, I'm only gonna play Xbox, I'm only gonna play PC, I'm only gonna play this system, you know what I mean? When you look and you see something nice on the other competitor's brand, like, damn, you know what? Let me go check that out.
Exactly.
But if you're self-conditioned, self-brainwashed to say, hey, I don't want that because this is part of this camp, then hey, go ahead, miss out on something in life. You know what I mean? There's just too much out there to experience. And I tell you, there's nothing like learning about another person's culture. And if you willing to marry them, it's like, man, just to share and compare and contrast, that's just the most beautiful thing. In all my interracial relationships, that was the coolest part of it. Learning about one another, teaching each other about one another's cultures, and seeing the differences in how we interpret a lot of things.
Yep.
I'm telling you, it's exciting, and I encourage everyone to at least have one interracial relationship. You will not regret it. And if it doesn't work out for you, like I said earlier, don't measure everybody by one experience. Everyone is different within cultures. Yep. And just be mature enough to know that, hey, all right, I got this. And just, it, like I said, it's like traveling. If you only been to the United States and never been to Europe, never been to Africa, never been to Japan and whatnot, there's so many things that these countries have to offer. If you only know America and then you're not open-minded to being exposed to other things, you're just selling yourself short in life. That's all I got, brother.
Ew. So
drop the mic.
Alex Chex Mix makes some good points, man. And I think
that's not my name.
I think I think part of the problem too is peer pressure and fear. I haven't seen Get Out, but I think it's kind of like the Get Out syndrome, yo. It's like, I don't know.
I didn't see it yet. I heard some things about it.
I need to go see it.
But do you have a Fire Stick?
Don't talk about that on this.
Shut up.
What the hell?
Oh, yeah, I've been saving some money.
See, that's why people don't date black people right there.
Always
bootlegging stuff. Anyway. And that's another thing, man. It like you said, it's fun to learn cultural differences. Like my girl that was Haitian, she taught me some stuff about the culture. Her dad had a heavy accent. I realized that all Haitians don't walk around with machetes.
Yo. And you know what? They don't say machete. We call it machete or machete.
I'm pretty sure he had one though.
I got one.
See? No, but he was really cool. Like, her dad was really cool. Her mom was really cool. The food, oh my God, the food. Ooh!
Too much of it, it'll get you sick, though. Like, that's why we have high blood pressure and cholesterol issues and stuff. Did you ever have the plantain with the meat? Ooh.
Nah, I can't. It was a long time ago. I can't remember. I just remember it was good, whatever I had.
All I got to say, banan and jelly free. Go ahead.
What the But like I was saying, get over your cultural fears and get to know someone different sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, learn. You need to be diverse in this world, because this world we're blending. More and more cultures of different people are coming to America. Coming to America. So you want to be culturally diverse. You don't want to be the ignorant one. So
what the heck? Yeah. Oh crap. My bad. I was reading something.
No, you good. You good. But yeah, you don't want other people over here knowing more about American culture and your culture more so than you, because blah blah blah, I'm not gonna date outside my race. That's just me. I just think that's dumb. But
Missing out, man. I'm telling you.
Yes,
There's much to be had. And then when you come across a mixed race person like Alicia Keys, I think she's beautiful.
she's
I love
mixed?
her look. Yeah, she's Italian and black.
Oh, she's Italian. Oh,
You didn't know that?
no, I didn't know
Shut
she was
up.
mixed. I just thought she was light skinned. My bad.
No, she's biracial.
I'm still hating on Swiss Beats, but go ahead.
Me too. So that Mitch, it's all good. We could dream. But you see, the look of Alicia Keys, I love that. It's beautiful. I just want to like take it like a lollipop on a hot day, man.
What the
Just cool off with
f?
I'm just saying. But like, look at a product of a union of two cultures, two races. You know, beautiful, beautiful outcome. You know, or the Afro Latinas. Hopefully one day God will bless me with one of those. 'Cause
Shut.
I'll be like, oh my goodness. But
Yo,
I don't know.
he
I'm
said
gonna get myself in
Afro.
trouble.
He
Go
said
ahead.
an Afro Latina.
Look it up
Wow.
on YouTube. Look it up on YouTube. There's a poet that is. Ooh.
He said, "Oh." I mean, I don't have a preference. You know what I'm saying? I'm interested though. I'm interested in dating someone who is of Hispanic descent or of a different descent. Just for the sake of experiencing it. I just wonder what would be different. Not saying that all black women are the same, because they're not. They'll give you a different experience as well. A southern woman, versus a northern woman is another huge difference.
Major difference.
I've always said I wanted to date a chick from up north because she'll get me a lot more. Because I spent a majority of my learning years in Philly. So I want someone who's used to that fast-paced life, who knows how to get out there and hustle. Not saying that a southern woman doesn't, but it's just a whole different vibe, and that style is just so.
But I will tell you this: whenever I'm on military duty, going through the airports and stuff, and when I was down in your neck of the woods, man, the hospitality, they're just so kind and very proper. Like, I saw someone at the airport. Had I not been engaged, I would have got her number, man. I was like,
what?
Oh my God. Yeah, yo. I was like, whoa. I'm like, who this? And she was thinking the right places too. Oh, not that. Dude,
She could probably cook too. My southern belle's not a cook, boy.
You know what? You see, and that should be another show for another day. The stereotypes of different races.
No, we're gonna talk about that right now.
I don't want to talk about that right now.
Why?
Cause I'm tired. I've been riding all day, like 300 miles. Catskills, New York. Freaking Hawks Nest near PA. Like, I'm dying, yo. I had to fill up. My bike gets 100 miles per the tank. I had to fill up like 3 times, man. I was dying. I'm just saying. We can split it up as another topic. For another.
This is my show. We're gonna talk about this now.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So what are yeah, but it goes with the topic, and that's part of the problem with people. This is why some people won't date outside their race. One, I know why a lot of people, or some people, the stereotypes, like black men, we got a criminal record,
lazy, don't take care of kids,
ain't got no job,
uneducated,
violent,
act like baby boy Tyrese,
very dependent.
And always blaming the man.
Never irresponsible.
Now, Robert and I are not like that at all.
Most black men are not like that at all.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, the stereotypes that you see perpetuated on the media, it's something where it's just a small majority of a larger group, right?
Yeah, because you can find that in any culture. That's it just it's part of this whole perpetuation of the media. They want certain cultures to look a certain type of way.
Yeah. Now you see, like with Latina women, like hot and fiery, spiffy.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to confirm some of that, because there is some truth to it.
Freaky deaky, crazy, freaky deaky, and crazy jealous.
Oh, and Robert met my ex-fiance when we were going to Comic-Con. She was cool as hell. Don't get me wrong. I'm not here to like bash her or mutilate her reputation or anything. But there were some typical things of the insecurities, the jealousies, and the difficulties, and like cursing me out, and like speaking in Spanish and all that. Some of the stereotypes are funny, and I embrace them, but others weren't so pleasant. So it
Right.
was just but she's not the only Hispanic or Latina woman I've been with. Like I had a Peruvian girl, very different, very laid back, very like docile, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just others who are aware of their sexuality. Like they're just like, I know I look good, honey. Like da 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 da. You want this? Like what? Hold up. I mean, but then, like the most common thing I hear about our black sisters in the African American umbrella is the fact that you ever hear that they say black women are difficult, or like
Yep.
they can't handle a strong black woman.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I would say this: my 2 exes ago, that ex was the definition of difficult. There were times where it was just, why do you have to be this way? If you're sitting there trying to solve a problem, but you're just like getting into your deliver us from Eva persona, it's like, damn, why do you think men want to run or like try something different? And it's something where I know not everyone is like that, but it's that small majority, and I have run into some in that majority that kind of, like I said, I had to check myself and remind myself that not all black women are difficult like that.
They're not. And here's
my ex-fiance, she's Puerto Rican and was difficult. So it's not just one thing, but I have seen that. I have come across that, But Rob, you were about to say something.
No, I was just gonna say, ladies and gentlemen, be of sound mind and body, and be of an open mind when you meet someone. You can't just look at their skin tone or have a couple interactions with them and think that you know them, and think just because they're part of a certain culture that you can predict their behavior or that you should know what to expect.
Yeah. And going in there with a prejudice is gonna set you up for failure.
Yeah, I think a lot of people get scared off by that. I've had I wouldn't say at least 3 girls, 2 who I've been with, 1 I attempted to be with, who never fully trusted me because of what happened to them in the past. It was nothing that I did. Never cheated on them. Never came close to cheating on them. None of that. They just would not trust me. It was like, one of them even said, "You're too good to be true." And I'm like, so you're basically waiting on me to mess up? I was like, you're going to be waiting forever. Because like I said, if it ain't
I had somebody leave me for that.
Yeah, I had a girl not talk to me because of that. Like, she was like, I can't. Like, I was like, all right, cool. So, I mean, you don't know what
you
you're
wanted to do to black her eye or cheat on her, bring her STD and shake her up, like what? Is that what you
psychologically, and I've heard this before, psychologically, sometimes when people are exposed to a certain thing for so long, that's all that they know. Like, it's norm. They don't know how to handle regular. To them, that's regular. So when you got to be extra patient when you get someone like that, and you got to recognize it too, because it's just like, oh, I'm not used to you. Like, you're treating me right. You're doing nice things for me. I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop. But it's like, nah, yo, both shoes is on my feet. This is how you should have been treated all along. It's hard to get that across. But the other thing I was going to say is, this is kind of controversial, but one of the most important lessons I learned in middle school from one of my teachers is code switching. And that is basically when you adapt to your surroundings. Like, she told us one day, she heard us talking, and she was like, you boys use a lot of slang. She's a black lady. She said, I understand you use a lot of slang because it's cultural and that's what y'all do. And we were like, yeah, yo, like, what's wrong with that? She was like, there's nothing wrong with it. But she was like, you should know how to speak proper English as well. She said, when you go for a job interview, if you run your own company or run your own business one day, you need to know how to do it like they do it as well, so they won't think that you're a fool. And she said that'll put you even further ahead of them. And a lot of people will call that, quote unquote, being fake and not being yourself. But I call that, being a professional. And it has helped me a lot. That is one of the most important things. Like, when I call someone, with the business that I deal in, I don't know, like, yo, what up, yo, you trying to buy a house or what, yo? Like, I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna say, hey, how are you? My name's Robert. I'm just calling to check in on you to make sure see if you needed help with your search. It's a switch, you know what I'm saying? They're both the same person. That's still a part of me, but I know how to turn it on and off. There's a time for me to be like that, and there's a time for me to, rise above. Well, not necessarily rise above, but just conduct myself in a more professional manner, for the sake of business, or as we call it, business. So
business.
Yeah. What are some other stereotypes? White women can't cook. They want to be housewives. They don't want to work.
That and that's not true. You know what I mean? Like, remember there was that show The Game, and you had that dude married the white girl.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, to me, I think that they depicted her character as weak initially, and I wasn't comfortable with that, because I knew that some folks would not take kindly to that, so to speak. And it's just something where, just as a woman, you want to empower her with strength, and not put her in subservient roles, so to speak. And then later on, she ends up leaving him and this and that. She just did like Jennifer Lopez and enough, and just like, all right, that's it. But I mean, when you're looking at different things with dating a white woman, they're different. You know what I mean? And what's that stereotype where you hear like some black females in certain groups who are like, oh, you're taking all the good black men. You know what I mean?
Look,
because they will do stuff maybe sexually that others won't. I've heard a whole lot of stuff, like a lot of locker room talk where, she let me do this and that, and then it's like you get a whole lot of. I've even heard one guy say to me, they are just stress free to deal with. Like they're just like how can I say?
I don't think any woman is stress free. But go ahead.
No, this is true. But this guy,
I hear what you're saying.
Matter of fact, he said that he dated a black girl, and he went through so much problems that he tried a white girl after that, and he never went back. He said, I date white girls exclusively. Like,
wow.
Like, bitch. I'm like, what is your mother? A black woman. Respect it. I don't care what your preference is. Be careful how you say that, because that is what birthed you.
He said exclusively. Dang.
Exclusive. Like, he was saying it like he's Dudley. Like, I'm a distinguished gentleman. I date white girls exclusively. Like, motherfucker, come on.
And like I said, it goes back to experience. It goes back to how that person was raised. That's essentially who you are. That person that you end up dating and being with is normally a preview of their family. So when you meet the family, that's what you should expect to see. When you meet mom, dad, brother, sister, that's probably what you're gonna see, a combination of that. But like I said, I keep an open mind. Like, I've met some black women who meet some of those stereotypes. I've met some who are the exact opposite. I've met white women who are like those stereotypes, and I've met some who are the exact opposite. So, I mean, don't hold people to that, yo. Don't hold people to that, and keep it to yourself. Like, don't have. I'm like, God, I'm surprised you don't like fried chicken, Robert. Like, what? Like, come on, man.
Have you seen those blind dates? Or they used to have this dating show or something, and a dude said something like that. And I'm like, why would you say that? Like, that ruined the course of the date. I'm saying, like, yo, you a freaking idiot.
Yo, some people really don't know better. Like, for real, don't know better, man. Some people
he said something like that, like, oh, I thought that your type did this and that. What the heck are you talking about, dude? Shut up. The date was going fine until he said something like that, and then it's like you can't even tell that she was like completely turned off by it, and it just wasn't gonna work. You know what I mean? So, like Robert said, keep that shit to yourself.
Yeah.
Like, if you have a stereotype,
because
use it for self-entertainment. Like, don't put that out there.
Because in my former life, I was an educator, and a majority of my coworkers were white women, so I got to see a lot of stuff. It was very interesting, to say the least. Very interesting, to say the least. Yeah, it was, man. I was like, oh, okay. And it was funny, like no one directly said it, but they were so intrigued by me because I could tell that a lot of them have never spent an extended period of time with a black man. So, I had to.
You about to teach them.
I had to teach them, like, one.
I'm sure you did.
Shut up. One, I had to represent for our culture. And two, represent for myself. Like, I had my, when we had jean days, I would show my natural flavor, wear my fraternity shirts and stuff like that. And I taught them a lot about the culture.
Fraternity shirts?
I said fraternity, son of a bitch.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
But yeah, you got to do that, man. You got to remember that whether you want to or not, you do represent a culture. You represent a group of people. So I kept that in mind, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean you got to quote unquote kiss ass and coon, as some people would say. But I kept it real with them. I'm like, yo, when we're behind closed doors and meetings and stuff, I would, do my thing. And then, when we were in a professional environment, I conducted myself, as such. But to me, I'm just saying, be open-minded. I understand we have a lot going on in this country, and there's a whole lot of pro-blackness going on right now because of the bullshit that the police are doing and people getting away from it. And I get that. But at the end of the day, not to speak out against that at all, but I'm still an individual too. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is a greater good, but I do want personal satisfaction, and I do want to be happy in my own right in regard in my life. And the person that I choose to be with for the rest of my life is going to be exactly that, my choice. It's not going to be based on societal norms. It's not going to be based on what's going on around me right now. It's going to be based on that person, because that's only fair. Because if I'm going to spend the rest of my life with you, I think my say-so is the biggest say-so that there should be, not social pressure. You know what I'm saying? So, again, you guys and girls, I mean, if that's your preference, you feel like you should only date within your race and you have your reasoning for it, and you feel like there's a level of empowerment to it, more power to you. I'm not going to speak out against
prerogative. What?
Every time I get on the roll and start talking that talk, you always come out with this bullshnack. About to fire you, yo. Anyway.
Shut up. Go ahead.
But anyway, that's all I'm saying. But yeah, and they kick those stereotypes to the curb. Oh, white guys. Let's talk about white guys. What is some
You already know. I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not even gonna go there. All right, you know what? What the Carlton, the Carlton dance?
Yo,
dressing like the Mean Street Posse from WWE, dressing like Carlton. And you know
a sense of superiority.
Yeah, that and entitlement.
What's another stereotype?
Some can be egotistical or so, or without getting political, look at who's leading. The leader.
Oh, they're definitely gonna be a Republican.
That is an example of that God complex nonsense and mightier than thou type stuff. But I mean, this is just perceptions. These may not be true to everybody, but that's just a lot of things that just come to mind.
Let's talk about Asian women. I would really like to date an Asian woman. You know what? I'm sorry.
Time.
I can't stand you. Yo,
that's
one thing. Yo, Asian. I really like legs. Asian women be having them legs, yo. Oh,
after seeing The Hangover and that Thailand scene thing, like,
I'm done. What are some Asian? What are some stereotypes about Asian women?
You know what? I don't know many.
They're short. They are short. That's a cultural thing. What else?
You know what? I draw a blank. I have to look that up because I have yet to date a full-blooded Asian.
They can all
person,
cook. They can all cook Chinese food.
Whether they be Filipino, Japanese, Chinese. I just not had the opportunity to cross that street.
They cook animals that are out of our norm of a normal palate.
Well, that is true though. Like, you know, those. Did you see the frog video? They were eating a frog alive. I'm like, what the heck? Then they were putting like the crab meat around the frog, and the arms are still moving. Like, come on, bro. Like, really? They eating dogs? I'll fight somebody if they try to eat my dog. show you can. Like, done. I'm done. Negative.
I'm about to end the show. All right, come on. We gotta think of some more. What's another culture? There's so many.
And that's the thing. That's why it's good to date outside of your culture.
And that's why God,
so much.
Yeah, you learn. And number two, you will know not to look at something you see on TV on the internet and think that's it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people see what, and that's why, that's one thing I have a problem with certain TV shows is how they, like we were saying with the game, how they depict certain people of certain cultures. Like, I love Scandal, but I hate the way they make Olivia Pope look. Like, she's one of the most powerful black women on TV, but she's pondering and pining over a married white man. Like, I
blame Shonda. Blame Shonda Rhimes for that.
I mean, I get it. It makes for a good story. I watch it. I support Shonda because Shonda writes Grey's Anatomy, which is one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life. But
I went on a boycott after the Washington incident, and TR Knight is gone from the show. Like, come on, dude. Like, really?
But that aspect of her character, I didn't like it. I understand why it's a bit more complex, but it's like, dang, you got a powerful, smart, educated woman who people bow down to her, but this one guy is her weakness. You know, whether he was white, black, purple, pink, it's not his race that did it so much. It's the fact that he was married. It's like, you can do better, but she didn't want to do better. She wanted him. So, you know, that just didn't sit well with me, but I get it.
Well, they're in there. Well, next season is the final season, so I can binge watch like season 6 and 7 and get caught up.
Yeah, some good stuff in there, man. But yeah, so I'm gonna end this because we're running kind of long. Pause. I don't want anyone to walk away from this show with the wrong idea or anything like that.
Somebody's gonna be hurt.
Who cares?
I'm just gonna say they gotta understand. We're just talking. We're not.
I'm just saying
advocating.
keep an open mind, man. That's what I'm saying. There's nothing wrong with advocating for your culture, supporting your culture, supporting, you know, the businesses of your culture and things of that nature. There's nothing wrong with that, with standing up, fighting, protesting. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Whatever race or culture you're a part of, there's nothing wrong with that. But dating is personal. Who you're in a relationship with is personal. Who you choose to give your body to, your mind, your heart to is personal. And I think that the two should be separated. Mm-hmm. That's my 25 cents.
And here's my 50 cent. I said everything I needed to say. Nope, wrap it up.
Shut up. You shut up. You ain't Joe Budden. I'm not DJ Academics. You don't tell me to wrap it up. All right. Anyway.
You know what? Dave Chappelle. I got the wrap it up box. Wrap it up, B. Wrap it up.
Right. Shut up. All right, y'all. Thank you for joining us on another episode of From My Experience. As always, if you are on SoundCloud right now, check us out on YouTube as well. If you're on YouTube, we are on SoundCloud From My Experience Podcast. Don't forget to join the Facebook page From My Experience Podcast. We also throw up little quick topics and have discussions on the Facebook wall with that. From My Experience Podcast at gmail.com for any questions, comments, show topics, or if you want to be a guest. And we will see y'all next week. Peace.
Peace.